St. Francis Prep prepares young men and women for the world of tomorrow by immersing them in the Franciscan tradition's 4 golden links: intellectual, social, spiritual, and physical. Facilities that are second to none. Teachers who instruct and inspire. Values of peace, love, and respect for the individual, community, and environment. High school is 4 years. St. Francis Prep is forever.
From Fresh Meadows, Queens, it is a Q Borough showdown as the Royals from Middle Village take the trip up the LIE to take on the Terriers of St. Francis Prep. Christ the King, St. Francis Prep, a BQ showdown not to be missed. Today's game is sponsored by Professional Physical Therapy. Professional Physical Therapy is proud to be the official athletic training provider for St. Francis Prep, keeping student athletes healthy, strong, and ready to compete. Speaking about ready to compete, that's what we are right now. Dylan Butler, Andrew Deloya.
Ready.
It's going to be an exciting atmosphere. Already is here at St. Francis Prep. 6100 Francis Lewis Boulevard is the location, the place to be right now. Parking is at a premium. Everyone is out. The hoop heads are out for this showdown between two of the best, certainly in Brooklyn, Queens.
Yeah, and they're here to see one of their most famous alums, Dylan Butler.
No.
Listen, the freshman game was exciting. St. Francis Prep won 68-44. JV game was exciting. St. Francis Prep won 54-50. And let's see what happens in the primetime event.
Yeah, these two teams, of course, met earlier this year in Middle Village, right off of Metropolitan Avenue there, and it was Christ the King with the victory in that game, winning that one 64-56. But it was a different St. Francis Prep team, and it's a little bit of a different Christ the King team now as well, right? When we talk about the Royals of Christ the King, look, they are 10-5. They are 5-3 in division. Joe Arbitello said, listen, we don't worry too much about the 4-game losing streak. It's all about the process and the guys, and he loves what he sees. In many ways, he thinks this is a team that has overachieved to this point of the season. But for them, it's all about shooting. If they're shooting it well, they are in every game. They have a chance to win. That 4-game losing streak, they didn't quite do that.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I mean, they're battle tested. They've played really, really good competition. They could have won a game or two early. You know, they got off to a 9-1 start. He thinks they're right where they're supposed to be. And it's going to be interesting to see how they finish out the season and see how ready they are for a playoff run.
Yeah, Christ the King coming off an 86-59 win over Springfield, Mass. up at Hoop Hall. And it was a game where they shot 55% from beyond the arc. So that's certainly what any coach would love to see. And they also hung with a nationally ranked Millennium team out of Arizona in their first game up in the birthplace of basketball. But two guys they're going to look forward to today. Two guys that they'll hope will impact them to a road win. On the left, Johnny Magna, the junior guard, asked now to play the point. LaSalle commit, and Skylar Ragu, only a sophomore, but already picking up some Division I offers.
Yeah, listen, Johnny Magna is electric. The LaSalle commit can just do it all. Like you said, he changed his position. He's learning the position a little bit, but he's doing really well with points and assists. And then you have Skylar Ragu, who can really shoot the ball, gets to the basket, creates for his teammates. It's a good backcourt right there.
Yeah, very good. You throw in Aaron Ellis. That's a great three-headed monster there for Joe Arbitello and Christ the King. So we switched the scene over to the Terriers of St. Francis Prep. 13-3 on the season, 8-1 in league play. Their head coach, Jimmy Lynch, said, we didn't know what we were going to be coming into the year. Yeah, we knew we had Osman Asako, who is on a short list as a candidate for Player of the Year in this league. We knew we had Justin DeSena, a terrific shooter heading into his sophomore year. But other than that, a lot of question marks after the graduation of a 4-year starting point guard in Veer Anthony and Hao Chen, who was that do-it-all kind of that grinder that you need to have on a team. They made the semifinals 3 straight years, didn't know what to expect. And this team has shown up to play, obviously, game in and game out. A slow start for them, but it's kind of what Jimmy does, right? It's a slow start early. He coaches them up, gets them in practice, and everyone around here says it. You know, it's what he does. He gets them ready, and they're playing their best basketball as they head into the postseason.
Yeah, it's a natural progression when you have a good coach, an experienced coach who knows that he doesn't need to find his identity in December and really can look at his team, evaluate, and figure out what their strengths are. He's doing that now, and he's getting added benefits from more guys on the bench, which is only going to help him down the stretch.
And suddenly, it's a St. Francis Prep team, maybe unheard of 20 years ago. They've got size. They have never had size. Jimmy Lynch has never coached size. So that gives an added dimension to this St. Francis Prep team. But 2 guys they'll rely on here today, 2 of our impact players to watch. We mentioned them at the very beginning, right? Justin DeSena. He was known as that shooter, but he has shown an expanded game this year as a sophomore. And on the right, Big O, Ousmane Sacco, the rare 4-year starter in this league. It was rare 20 years ago when freshmen never played on the varsity. And it's rare now in this day of transfers and the portal and all that kind of stuff. Sacco has stayed. He's made St. Francis Prep his home, and everyone around here is super excited about that.
Yeah, I think everyone in the building is excited that he decided to stay and finish what he started. It's a tribute to the program that he knew this was the right place to be. This is his home, and his home is also around the rim getting rebounds, Dylan. And then you talk about Justin DeSena. You know, you mentioned it. He's a shooter, but what impresses me most about him is that he's charged with guarding the other team's best player.
Yeah, so expect him likely to be on Johnny Magna here tonight as both teams get into their huddles on the baseline. And of course, we spoke with both head coaches heading into this one, Andrew. Here's what they identified as their keys to this game.
Listen, Coach Arbitello knows what needs to be done defensively. They need to limit Sacco and DeSena. We just spoke about those guys. And then limit their mistakes. You know, they're coming off 4 losses. They want to clean up some of the things that they've been doing in those games, and they need to shoot the rock. They need to make shots. For St. Francis Prep, slow down the stars on the other side, the Magnas and the Ragus of the world. Win the rebounding battle and take good shots. We spoke about that on the call, and if you're open, shoot it. If you're guarded, pass it.
Sounds simple enough. It is Christ the King. It is St. Francis Prep. We'll have the starting lineup and the opening tip when we return here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
And here he comes again. Off the backboard! Are you serious?
Daly tries another 3. That one's good. One from the left corner, now from the right. Daly's on fire with 10 points in the opening quarter.
The loose ball, Keyshawn White has it. He's just going to let it fly. Oh! Keyshawn White from half court. That is cash. What a way to end the 3rd quarter.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is 75,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Welcome back to St. Francis Prep High School. Dylan Butler, Andrew DeLoya, our entire Varsity Media crew here for this anticipated Brooklyn Queens showdown between Christ the King, that perennial powerhouse, right? You think about 11 NBA players, all the McDonald's All-Americans, the championships, and a St. Francis Prep team that has really been revitalized under their head coach, Jimmy Lynch, in the last 5 or 6 years. So we're getting ready for the starting lineups as Christ the King and St. Francis Prep go to their benches. We'll send it to the PA announcer, Tom Kennedy, the voice of St. Francis Prep, for tonight's starters.
0, Skylar Ragu. Number 1, Johnny Magna. Number 10, Aaron Ellis. Number 12, Makai Briscoe. And number 33, Philip Runjo. The head coach of the Royals is Joe Arbitello. And now, please welcome the starting lineup for your St. Francis Prep Terriers. At guard, a sophomore from Rockville Center, New York, number 4, Justin DeSena. At guard, a freshman from Brooklyn, New York, number 10, Austin Dutton. At guard, a senior from Jamaica, New York, number 1, Corey Ballard. At guard, a freshman from Jamaica, New York, number 24, Eli Murray. And a forward, a senior from Far Rockaway, New York, number 25, Osman Sacco. The Terriers' assistant coaches are Shane Harry, Mike Murray, Brian Harry, and Chuck Myers.
And the head coach of Christ the King, of course, it's Joe Arbitello, 1995 graduate, in his 18th season at the helm, 351 career wins. Andrew, he has done a little bit of everything. JV coach, varsity B coach, JV girls head coach. He's the principal, drives the bus. He is Mr. Christ the King, Joe Arbitello. In the other huddle, in his 9th season, it's also a graduate of his alma mater, St. Francis Prep 1999 graduate, Jimmy Lynch, the 2022 CHSAA Coach of the Year. Was a varsity assistant for 4 years. Prior to that, JV and freshman team for 5 years apiece. Was a disciple of the legendary Tim Leary here at St. Francis Prep. Our officials for today's game. In the middle, it's Richie Katz, the always entertaining Richie Katz, Charles Rosano, and Chris Frastaglio as well. It is Runjo and Sacco for the opening tip. And Andrew, we are set to go in this anticipated Brooklyn Queens showdown. Opening tip goes to the visitors for Middle Village. One change this year, Andrew, for St. Francis Prep. They are traditionally a man-to-man. If I could borrow the line from the RAF, as the look goes inside to Runjo, misses the bunny. But they will switch it up this year with the size they have.
Man-to-man.
There is Sacco and Big O to the cup for 2.
Got a rebound on the defensive end, attack the rim on the offensive end, already showcasing the skill set we mentioned in the pregame.
Yeah, Jimmy Lynch says there have been games of late, and it's not padded numbers, where he's gotten 30 and 20, and he's done it on multiple occasions. So he's really elevated his level. He'll go on and play at Fairfield.
Coach Casey and Coach Glenn Brake are getting a goodie in Osaka. And Mr. Sacco,
yeah,
sorry.
And Sacco, you can call him Big O. Either way, that works. High off the glass, no good by Dotton.
It's interesting,
sensational freshman.
Yeah, St. Francis Prep starting 2 freshmen.
Runjo misses it inside. Offensive rebound goes to Briscoe. Tough jumper, back iron, no good, and quick out. And Big O stripped from behind, says he was ready for some showtime. Good defense by Ellis.
And an emphatic call by Mr. Official Richard Katz.
Always is, and also it deflected off of Sacco on the way up. So Ellis not only got the strip, but he also gets the possession.
Yeah, it was a really nice defensive play, hustling back on defense.
And here's Magna. And that's a matchup we anticipated. DeSena on Magna. DeSena strips him. Same outcome off of Magna. It'll be St. Francis Prep ball.
And that's the defensive improvement that we showcased in the pregame on Justin DeSena.
There's Dotton up to Sacco. When you think of the best players in this league, you think Josiah Jervis and the Ratliff twins. Back rim no good on that foul line jumper, but Sacco right in that conversation this year. Again, short list for the player of the year in the Catholic League. What an honor that is to get that.
And just to be in the conversation is a huge honor as well.
Here's Magna, top of the key, just a junior, already committed to LaSalle. So there's a bevy of Division I talent, certainly future Division I talent on the floor here tonight.
Yeah, Christ the King with their rich history of sending players to play Division I basketball. It's no surprise that they have players on their roster that are going to do that next year.
Runjo, offensive rebound, no good. Another defensive rebound by Sacco. Lowers the shoulder, Sacco spins, Ellis, the kick to Ballard. Back up top, and they'll reset with Dotton. Hands off to Ballard. They have formed a terrific combination, and Ballard traveled.
Yeah, Ballard and Dotton are a dynamic backcourt they're really working well together. Coach mentioned that they have tremendous synergy.
Here's Magna, the 6'3" junior from Howard Beach. Nice bounce pass down low, and the layup is good by Ellis. Ragu with the pass to Ellis, and those two guys are a couple of sophomores that Joe Arbitello is really excited about.
How could you not be? I mean, when you got schools like LaSalle, Manhattan, and Wagner offering Ellis in his sophomore year, that's a really good sign.
The extra pass, and the triple buried by the freshman, Eli Murray. And a quick timeout by Christ the King. From game time injuries to everyday aches, getting back to full strength starts with expert care. Professional Physical Therapy is proud to be the official athletic training provider for St. Francis Prep, keeping student athletes healthy, strong, and ready to compete. From tip-off to the final buzzer, we've got your back. With over 200 locations across the Northeast, expert physical therapy is always close to home. Find a location near you at professionalpt.com. Thanks so much to Professional PT. There's another look, extra pass, and the triple by Murray. Good-looking freshman, Andrew.
Yeah, the sky's the limit for Eli Murray. He's a big-time prospect. He does a little bit of everything. He can dribble, he can handle, and right there you saw he can shoot it, Dylan.
Here's Ellis. Ragu up top. Slings it down low. And a bucket by Ellis. So once again, Ragu setting up Ellis for the bucket. Top of the key, 3 buckets for Sacco. Runjo inside. Spins, gets the bucket. Nice move by the big fella out of Serbia.
It was nice to see that one go down for the big fella. He had 2 bunnies that he missed earlier.
Sacco front rims that 3, Runjo the rebound, and now this is an opportunity to run for Magna, but good job by DeSena stopping that run. Triple by Ragu off the mark. Another defensive rebound by Sacco, ahead to Ballard now. Back to Big O. Drives at the Serbian lefty, too strong. Rebound goes to Briscoe. Quick outlet. There is Ragu. Misses the layup. And then probably could have been called for the foul, but instead they just said the ball went out of bounds. St. Francis Prep ball. So Runjo goes out. Benjamin Marsagi checks in. So CK goes small here, as it's Dotton. Keyshawn White lost the ball. Marsagi with the strip. CK comes the other way. It's Ragu. On top to Magna. Works off the screen set by Briscoe. Magna to the basket. Too strong there. Loose ball. Where are we going? It'll be Christ the King ball. Marsagi coming off a monster game up at the Hoop Hall in that win over Springfield. A season high 17. How about 6 of 7 from the field and a perfect 5 of 5 from beyond the arc? Maybe it's that great roof or the venue itself, but there's a triple by Ellis. Ellis has really lit it up here in the first quarter. 7 of his team's 9. Austin Dotton up top to Sacco. The feed down low. Turnaround jumper in the lane. Too strong by Murray. Rebound goes to Ragu. Ragu, no one closed on him, so he just went end to end for the layup. And it'll be a timeout for St. Francis Prep. It's a full timeout. We'll take him with him as well. 2:09 left first quarter. It is Christ the King with an early 11-8 lead here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Help keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email Ben at varsitymedia.net.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Back here at St. Francis Prep, off the timeout for the Terriers. There you see the last 3 years, Andrew. Some terrific years being right. Listen, to be in the Final Four in this league is a tremendous accomplishment. You see the wins, but just not able to get over the hump. They thought they would be able to do so last year and reach the final for the first time since 1997, but they lost to St. Ray's.
Jimmy Lynch is doing a great job with this program. When I was coaching at Northport, every time we were in an off-season tournament, he had his program there. They're all about development, and they're hovering around 20 wins year after year, Dylan Butler. That's a major accomplishment and very well-respected, classy program.
He has joked that he is not going to get anywhere near Tim Leary's 648 career wins, but I don't know, 20 a year might get you there quicker than you think.
Yeah, he's a very modest man, and he does such a good job. And he's got great assistants with him. Brian Haggerty, the 9th grade coach, freshman coach. Dan Angel-Stroh, the JV coach. Shane Harity, Mike Murray, Chuck Myers, all guys that help and contribute him to get this program where it needs to be.
Yeah, I think if not all, certainly most also alums of St. Francis Prep having played in this program. Nice move inside out. Marsagi. Side rim, no good. Rebound goes to Sacco. And he'll push the transition to DeSena. The 3, rims around and out, no good. Marsagi the rebound, and it's Magna looking to push. Ragu in and out. There's been some good looks early, Andrew, but just the ball not falling for either team.
Yeah, Christ the King has gotten some really, really good shots, inside and outside. Shots that looked like they were going down. And it's a 3-point game, so
wide open. The freshman Austin Dotton buries the triple.
Yeah, the game can swing in a hurry depending on how shots go down.
You can see the formula as now we see the switch, right, to a bit of a zone look now for the Terriers.
And their back line is so big. Now that they brought in number 32 Carter Precy, the junior from Cold Spring Harbor. He's long. You have Sacco in the back of the zone. Also have Keyshawn White, who you may know. Keyshawn White from our varsity media highlight reel hitting a half-court shot.
Yeah, that was for Roslyn, the transfer there, and Prizia transfer from Cold Spring Harbor. He also just picked up the foul there. Here's Ragu at the top, inside Marsaghi. Nice play down low, and that's how you break the 2-3 zone as Runjo scores inside.
Yeah, they got it to the high post. Really nice interior pass. That's the formula to break the zone apart. And Coach Arbitello drew it up, and they executed to perfection.
And here's Dotton. I figure the Terriers will hold for the last shot here. Shot clock is off, 15 on the game clock. Dotton guarded by Ellis. We'll see that matchup for years to come. 6 seconds. Dotton, the layup. What a basket by Dotton. Three-quarter court shot. No good, but Dotton opening highs here with that one.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the Austin Dotton, the guard of the future for St. Francis Prep, showcased his skill set on that play at the end of the quarter. You see it here on the crossover. Look at looking away the defender and finishing over the big man. Great job by that freshman out of Brooklyn, number 10, Austin Dotton.
Second quarter when we return here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age.
Our follower base across social media is 75,000 strong,
and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Back here at St. Francis Prep, second quarter about to begin. Dylan Butler, Andrew DeLoya, our entire Varsity Media crew. 13 apiece here after the opening 8 minutes. What'd you think from what you saw?
Yeah, no, I think both teams are executing their offense extremely well. I think both teams are getting every shot that they want. Some of them are going down. There's a lot of bunnies that were missed. Obviously, maybe getting the jitters out in a big game like this. It's going to be interesting to see if any adjustments are made. Now it looks like Christ the King snapped into a 2-3 zone, a little chess match.
Yeah, you love it between the two coaches. Great respect as well between these two head coaches. Both, when we asked about the opposing team, one of the first things they both said, really well coached. Sacco, long arms there of Ragu, the 6'3 sophomore, gets a tip there.
Yeah, and part of the reason Christ the King is so well coached, obviously we spoke about Coach Joe Arbitello and all his success, but he can't do it without guys like CJ Council and Nick Sanchez, both former players that played here at CTK.
Yeah, Nick Sanchez, the legend. Jumper by Sacco, no good. Prizzi, the rebound, the kick out, and there is the triple by DeSena.
Backspin, follow through, rotation. He has a beautiful shooting stroke.
Runjo surrounded by Terriers, kicks it out. Magna drives baseline, up and under, count it, and the foul.
Johnny Magna on the reverse layup with the Steve Nash English, put on the shot, took the contact from Prizzi, and he's going to the line to finish the three-point play the old-fashioned way.
That's 2 on Prizzi as Magna, who averages 15.5 points a game, shoots 77.6, misses the free throw. His dad, a former Archbishop Malloy assistant coach. Mom, Lorraine, played at Christ the King, so he's got the genes and he's got the basketball IQ.
He's born with a basketball in his hand.
Here's Sacco guarded by Ragu. The double comes from Runjo. Still on the ball, Sacco. The kick, Prizzi to DeSena, foul line jumper, too strong. And Ragu comes away, and the Royals look to run. Ragu front rim, he was fouled on his way up. Now, is this the foul on Prizzy? If it is foul number 3.
Yeah, you see here, Ragu in transition. He's so electric. Did a nice job initiating the contact, drawing the foul on Prizzy, and it's Prizzy's 3rd.
And so neither team really usually going beyond 7 or 8. So 3 early fouls could be problematic, especially with that size that St. Francis Prep has in this, and it's size that Lynch thinks they have an advantage here tonight.
Yeah, and he brings in Keyshawn White, the 6'5" freshman. He's a defensive presence, a rebounder. So that Christ the King zone that they just put in becomes more impactful as they snap back into man here.
So Ragu knocks down both. The Royals by 1 here, 17-16. Sacco. Up top, it's Doughton to DeSena. He's guarded by Magna. The kick, we're gonna go baseline for the flush! Keyshawn White! He loves being on varsity media.
He's gonna have a half-court shot on varsity media, and he's gonna have a baseline dunk on varsity media pretty soon. Nice interior pass to the big man.
Runjo already with 6 in this one. Doughton, here's Murray. Misses it inside. Quick, and here comes Ellis on the other side. Anything you can do, I can do better, said Ellis.
And Dylan, you went to school here. I'm just hoping that you have a connection with the custodial staff to make sure they have rims on call in case a rim gets broken in this first half.
There's not been many, certainly from the Terriers, as there's a triple from Keyshawn White. Hey, we were told more of that defensive specialist, but he is showing off that offensive arsenal here in the second quarter.
Coach, don't just talk about my defense, man. I can play offense also.
Triple, no good. Runjo, he has been really good in this first half.
Yeah, I also like that. He doesn't try to do too much. He knows
Exactly.
his role. He gets rebounds, keeps possessions, keeps balls alive, deflects shots. Right here you see he's getting the play call, possibly setting a ball screen. He does it all.
Ragu hands off to Ellis. 10 on the shot clock. Here is Magna. Tries to drive. Spins in the lane. No good. Sacco, another defensive rebound. That's got to be like at least his 4th, I want to say, in this first half. Doughton, the triple. Side rim. No good. Magna, the rebound. Gets it back from Ellis. Was under the weather, was feeling a little bit sick up at Cardinal Hayes, says there was a foul called on Eli Murray down low. So we didn't see the best of Johnny Magna up in that game on the Grand Concourse, but he is a guy, listen, again, LaSalle commit, only a junior, and he does a little bit of everything for this Christ the King team.
He's their quarterback. He's their leader.
It was his inbound pass. It was a good one, too, but it was just mishandled by Ellis. So Terriers ball, and there is the sentence to inbound. Gets it off to Ballard. The hot hand in White to Senna. Guarded closely by Magna. That's a fun matchup on both sides of the ball. Here's Murray, little jump step in the lane, and he gets 2.
Coach Lynch calls him a big-time prospect. He thinks the sky is the limit on Eli Murray. He's been scoring more as of late. He's growing up on the scene. Expect big things from the freshman Eli Murray.
Andrew, anywhere we go, and there you see the foul by Sacco. I feel like anywhere we go, we talk about St. Francis. Hey, have you seen the freshman? Have you seen the kid? Have you seen him? So finally our chance in person as Sacco picks up his first, and Murray is as advertised.
Well, you look at their roster, and you got Austin Doughton, freshman. Eli Murray, freshman. Keyshawn White, freshman, and Carter Prizzy, the junior. I mean, there's some nice pieces here, and you know, not to forget about some of the other underclassmen like Ethan Edwards and DeSena.
Well, outside of DeSena there, what the point I was going to make when you rattling off those names was none of those guys Lynch necessarily knew would be in the building when they lost up at Fordham to St. Ray's in the semifinals.
Yeah, and he's piecing it together. You see he's got Ethan Edwards at the table as we speak. And one of the things he mentioned, Dylan, was it could be different guys on different nights. Everyone knows this man right here, Sacco, and everyone knows DeSena. And he said it's just different guys on different nights making contributions, and that's what's helped them on this run that they're on.
Here's Magna up top. The handoff.
Running a little flex action on the baseline, screen.
Here's Fabian Pinnock. Hit some huge triples in that first matchup. That win for the Royals in Middle Village. Magna up top to Ellis. 1 on the shot clock, and that'll be a shot clock violation. Good defense, and that's really what St. Francis Prep hangs their hat on. It is about their defense.
It all starts with defensive principles, shell, defense drills in practice run by the assistants. Coach Lynch really emphasizes that with his team. And you saw it on this full display as they drew that 35-second shot clock violation.
Yeah, it says the formula is we score 60, the opponent scores 52, and we go home happy.
Yeah, it was a similar formula that I used to try to use at Northport. It's a different style than we're used to when we cover games like Cardinal Hayes, or if we watch games like we watched yesterday when it was Jefferson versus St. Ray's, where it's a different tempo, a different pace.
And that is like usually the first to 100 wins. Not so much in this game. There's the kick out. Ethan Edwards, triple no good. Offensive rebound by Murray, unable to pull it down, and there's Briscoe who comes away.
St. Francis Prep has to be careful. They have 4 fouls on the board as Magna finishes at the rim.
Yeah, not an easy layup. That is the third layup by Magna, who just picks up a foul off the inbound. All 6 of his points coming in this second quarter.
It's only the first Christ the King foul of the second quarter.
Here's Edwards, the sophomore. Kick to White. And here is Murray. Nearby St. Albans. Edwards, high off glass and good.
Ethan Edwards knew what he wanted to do with that one as he just attacked the rim with a quick decision drive and finished with the right.
Some physicality. Richie Katz calls the foul. It'll be against Eli Murray. That is his first. Ragu to the line to shoot 2. Knocked down his first 2 free throws of the game.
Shooting 67% from the line on the year. Offers from LaSalle, Florida A&M. Coach Arbitello calls him a special sophomore.
Yeah, out of Valley Stream. And he and Ellis, like the numbers are really remarkably similar. Maybe outside of the assists per game, but the points per game, the rebounds per game.
Well, it's interesting. You got Ellis, Magna, and Ragu all averaging 15 points. And it's a really nice balanced attack for Coach Arbitello.
Yeah, you
and
get
the
that.
Royals.
You get that, you're already at 45. That's
Yeah.
not too bad, right?
You got to do it every night for him, though.
There's Pinnock with the steal as they tried to force it inside to White. Look at this. Layup missed by Ragu. Here come the Terriers the other way. Edwards blew it higher. The look inside as things get a little bit frantic. It goes to Murray for 2.
Yeah, Ethan Edwards stuck with it like he was a Harlem Globetrotter on that one. When he went down, he kept his dribble and was able to make a great interior pass while he was flat on his back.
Shot clock off, 12 seconds left in the first half. 1-point ball game. Here is Ragu. Guarded by Doughton, kicks down low to Briscoe, turns inside and gets the bucket. And he will end this first half as Christ the King takes a 28-27 lead. We'll be joined momentarily by Joe Arbitello, the Christ the King coach, after he has a few observations maybe for the officiating crew.
They were discussing gifts for their wives for Valentine's Day.
So we're joined by Joe Arbitello, the Christ the King head coach. Hang on, Joe, we'll get you fixed up here. No problem. Joe, what were your thoughts from your team in that first half?
I thought we missed a couple of easy baskets there, to start the game. And, I felt like we ran good offense, played good defense, ball didn't go in the basket.
What do you need more of second half to get this game swaying more in your direction?
Got to score, right? Got to make the easy ones against them. If you don't, you're going to kill yourself.
All right, Joe, appreciate a few minutes and best of luck in the second half.
Appreciate it, guys.
That is Christ the King head coach Joe Arbitello, whose Royals have a 1-point lead here at the break. It is a fun atmosphere, and it's always good when this guy,
Keyshawn White,
he knows where the cameras are. Keyshawn White, the baseline flush. But Ellis, anything you can do, I can do better.
Unbelievable.
Royals by 1 at halftime here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
St. Francis Prep prepares young men and women for the world of tomorrow by immersing them in the Franciscan tradition's 4 golden links: intellectual, social, spiritual, and physical. Facilities that are second to none. Teachers who instruct and inspire. Values of peace, love, and respect for the individual, community, and environment. High school is 4 years. St. Francis Prep is forever.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
And here he comes again. Off the backboard! Are you serious?
Daly tries another 3. That one's good. One from the left corner, now from the right. Daly's on fire with 10 points in the opening quarter.
Loose ball, Keyshawn White has it. He's just going to let it fly. Oh! Keyshawn White from half court. That is cash. What a way to end the third quarter.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media. Hey parents, coaches, and players, ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
If you're looking to optimize your sporting event, look no further than Varsity Media's coverage. Since working with them over the course of the past 4 years through the Elite 5 New York City Football Showcase, their coverage has helped take us to the top.
Varsity Media does an unbelievable job in terms of the broadcast, backgrounds on kids, do a great job in exposure from top to bottom. I couldn't really say anything negative. It's been a great couple of years that we've been working together, and it's just fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you, the fact that you guys are here has helped grow it, really. I mean, Varsity Media has been a good partner with us now for the last couple of years. That brings this game to a much broader audience.
The level of detail and that you go to, I mean, obviously the announcers, the camera angles, the slow motions, I mean, you feel like it's being covered by, ESPN.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
It's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves. You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athletes' key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now.
He's got room to go. Merrill towards the end zone. Lost his lid. Touchdown!
JJ Damo, face on, stay on athlete. Controlling the face-off. That's 3 in a row now.
For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports.
Help keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email Ben at varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to St. Francis Prep High School. Dylan Butler, Andrew Deloy here, our entire varsity media crew. Entertaining first half, which a low-scoring one as well, which maybe edged Christ the King here as they've got a 1-point advantage heading into the third quarter.
Yeah, it's a shot maker's game. A lot of shots for both teams didn't go down. A lot of shots that they would ordinarily make. It's going to be interesting to see who heats up. I think it comes back to the impact players that we featured in the pregame, and I think whichever pregame players make the most plays in the second half is going to be the team that win.
Going out on an edge there.
Well, it has to happen on the court, and we'll see what's going to happen. When these guys are going at each other, you know, is Descending going to hit more shots than Magna? Is Sacco going to hit more shots? You know, that's what it comes down to. The big-time players got to step up in the big-time moments.
Aaron Ellis led the way with 9 in that first half. Little handoff, Ragu, high arcing shot, no good. Briscoe rips down the rebound, tries the baseline jumper, side rim, no good. Turnaround jumper by Magna, no good. Look at all the offensive rebounds and the big fella Runjo. I thought he was very good, very serviceable in that first half. He now has 8.
Yeah, he did an excellent job on the offensive glass, gaining possessions for his team, and that's going to be crucial in the second half as well.
And there is Doughton. Apparently Jimmy Lynch has the formula. You give a guy the number 10 jersey, and he's a 4-year starting point guard. That was the case with Veer Anthony just before him, as that interior pass picked off by Briscoe. Veer Anthony now at New Haven. One of 11 Terriers playing college basketball. Magna, look out. Collision down low. We continue the action. Wide open, top of the key. Briscoe with the triple, and we'll have an official's timeout, or did they call it a 2?
They called it a 2 on the floor, Dylan. Fortunately, Aaron Ellis is down on the play. Yeah, you see here, offensive rebound. Ragu, his foot was on the line.
So 6:45 left. It is Christ the King with a 32-27 lead. We'll take a look at the last 3 years for Christ the King as well. And you see last year making the semifinals. Their bugaboo is they face Stepanak in each of those postseasons. And then it's Stepanak that ends their season. But you can see those 2 years there, big winning seasons, right? 23-5, 22-6 a year ago, 16-13 losing. Actually, that was the semifinals, 72-52. Year before that in the quarterfinals, 60-53. And then back in 2022-23, they lost in the semifinals to Stepanak 49-42.
It's a tough road when you have Stepanak in your way.
And for Jimmy Lynch, he lost to Hayes, Stepanak, and St. Ray's. Not in that order. St. Ray's was last year, but DeSena open, top of the key, bang!
That was a nice little pin down screen, nice set piece to get DeSena open, and he delivered when his feet are set. He's a big time shooter.
His second triple of the game. Marsaghi up top to Magna, works off the Runjo screen. Good job by DeSena to recover defensively. Marsaghi rejected by DeSena. DeSena looks to push. The extra pass, maybe one too many passes. Here's Marsaghi, the bounce pass. And Magna gets 2. Top of the key 3, Sacco no good. Here comes Magna the other way. Runjo, guarded by Sacco. The big fella's bump, and it's Sacco the defensive rebounds. Here is Doughton. Double comes his way. Sacco. The extra pass. Triple no good. Runjo the rebounds. Both teams continue, Andrew, to struggle from the field. Murray was doing jumping jacks, calling for the ball, misses the triple. Briscoe leaked out. Good defense there by Murray. Here is Dotton the other way. Too strong. Big O. He is fouled on his way up.
He does such a good job hunting the offensive rebound, as you see here on the miss by Dotton. Sacco tracks it down, keeps it high, power dribble, draws the foul on the big man, Runjo.
Last few weeks have been outstanding for Sacco. Jimmy Lynch says he's been playing out of his mind.
Perhaps the best rebounder in the league. Gives St. Francis Prep a whole new dimension. Has been demonstrating tremendous leadership as a senior. Coach also mentioned he's a pretty good passer, averaging about 5 assists a game.
We saw a good look in the first half, and I think it was just a situation where there wasn't a finish on the pass, but doesn't have that tunnel vision anymore. You know, he knows, he recognizes, and that's part of, as you said, that leadership that he has displayed. Sacco makes the first.
And him staying here at St. Francis Prep and finishing his career lays groundwork for all these great underclassmen that St. Francis Prep has to do the same thing, and to realize that this place is home and it's a great place to be, and the grass isn't always greener. You get good coaching, great education.
And it's a story, the one that you just detailed is one that I think needs to be celebrated throughout the Catholic League. Because there should be more Ousmane Saccos, guys who spend those 4 years. Triple by Marsaghi, no good. The leak out, and now here come the Terriers running and gunning, and Keyshawn White with the layup.
Keyshawn White has been impressive, showcasing his athletic ability. We saw him step out and hit a 3 in the first half. He's a really, really athletic, exciting player, and he's got a bright future here at Prep.
Yeah, you go back, again, talking about Sacco, you go back to some of those Stepanak teams with Danny Carbucia and Boogie Flan. Those are guys who stayed, and whoa, look out, Ragu, the step back triple.
That was a big time play by Skylar Ragu as he set the defender up, and perfect footwork on the step back 3.
Last year, another triple attempt, rims around, no good. Last year, St. Ray's made it to the finals, led by 2 four-year guys.
Look out.
Big O with the big flush. It was Ty Turnage and Brandon Stores leading the way for St. Ray's, as Jimmy Lynch will call the timeout. Look at Sacco. How much frustration from the ball not falling for him and his team went into that dunk, man.
Great steal from Dotton. Dished it to the big man, and big time finish.
From game time injuries to everyday aches, getting back to full strength starts with expert care. Professional Physical Therapy is proud to be the official athletic training provider for St. Francis Prep, keeping student athletes healthy, strong, and ready to compete. From tip-off to the final buzzer, we've got your back. With over 200 locations across the Northeast, Expert Physical Therapy is always close to home. Find a location near you at professionalpt.com. And we thank Professional Physical Therapy for their sponsorship of this one. Still a tight one, still a low-scoring affair. And really, both of these teams, you know, we see so much of Cardinal Hayes this year. They get up and down. They score in the 80s, in the 70s, and really neither of these teams this year, CK on the year averaging 70 points a game, giving up 66. St. Francis Prep, they're coming into this game undefeated after the ball dropped in Times Square. They've won 8 in a row, 63.8 points per game, 50 points given up per game.
Yeah, both teams play a little bit of a different tempo. It plays to their advantage. Both teams play solid defense, and they execute on offense, and it's a formula for success.
So Pinnock has checked in for Ellis, who's at the end of the bench getting looked at as Marsaghi gets the finish inside.
Christ the King utilizes that flex action on the cross screen to get Marsaghi an open look underneath.
Oh, trying to go baseline again. White just lost it on his way out, but he was stripped by Briscoe, so the ball will stay with the Terriers. That first step of his is so electric. DeSena, catch, shoot, 3 off the mark. A battle for the loose ball. And Richie Katz points to the baseline, which is what Sacco stepped on. So it'll be Christ the King ball.
Good pieces of officiating. He was all over the call.
Here's Magna the other way. A little bit of a rock fight here in Fresh Meadows here tonight. Here's Pinnock. Joe Albertello's nephew. Going behind the back, Ragu. Back rim, tap, put back, no good. And Sacco harassed on that offensive or defensive rebound. Fouled there by Briscoe. That is his first.
Carter Prissy checked in the game for Corey Ballard, giving St. Francis Prep a little bit more height with Sacco, White, and Prissy.
Here's Dotton, freshman out of Clinton Hill, excuse me. Dad Howie played here at St. Francis Prep. Prizzy hands off to Senna. And we have a foul. I believe we had a foul. As you have a conversation now at midcourt. Now all the officials. Our crew tonight, Richie Katz, Charles Rosano, Chris Frastaglio. So it's a shot clock situation, and they'll reset that to 14 seconds. Side out for Keyshawn White. Finds Dotton. Guarded by Ragu, spins. I love Ragu stepping out there. And that'll be a push-off on Sacco.
Really, really good help defense by Runjo, as Johnny Magna was matched up on Sacco.
So Sacco picks up his second. And here's Magna.
See, with that height, St. Francis Prep goes to their 2-3 defense.
The Royals attacked it well last time. Look at the triple by Skylar Ragu. Second of this quarter. 11 now for the sophomore. White up top. Off the backboard, the rebound put back by Dotton. That was much needed for St. Francis Prep.
If St. Francis Prep is going to go to the zone, I think coach would want them to be just a little bit more active, have their hands in passing lanes a little bit more, make things a little bit more difficult for Christ the King.
Baseline Magna, side rim, no good. Look at Sacco getting up. Now to 2-on-1 break. DeSena, rejected by Ragu. Sky Ragu living up to his name there, Andrew.
Yeah, you see what the zone does, sometimes it creates long rebounds and the opportunity to break, and Christ the King did a great job in defensive transition getting back.
Inbound underneath for Dotton. Here's White.
Little screen-to-screener action for DeSena.
Down low, double teamed. Big O, ball movement. The Senna, no good. Look at Sacco flying in there. Unable to corral the ball. It'll be Christ the King possession. And with 32 seconds left in this third quarter, they can hold to Andrew for the last.
And they should. Up 6 on the road. Unless they get a really easy bucket. This is a big possession in the game.
St. Francis Prep and their 2-3. It's Magna up top. Ragu, no good. Rebound, loose ball. And that will do it for the third quarter. And it is Christ the King with the lead. And Skylar Ragu, Andrew, getting it done from both ends.
Yeah, great rotation on this shot. Big time 3 by Skylar Ragu. Points to the air. Great block on the other end.
Fourth quarter coming up next on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes, but how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights, but how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athlete's key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now.
Back here at St. Francis Prep, Christ the King, they make the relatively short journey, which on the LIE at around 5 o'clock might take a couple hours, but they make the trip from Middle Village up here to Fresh Meadows, and it's the visitors with the lead, 42-38, Andrew, heading in to quarter number 4.
Yeah, we're set for a big-time finish. These two well-respected programs going at each other, two great coaches, making adjustments heading into the fourth quarter. It's going to be an exciting one.
This is round 2, but often we see round 3. These two have met in the Brooklyn Queens final as we'll have a foul off the ball called. I think this is going to be on Briscoe. It is his second. 2 of the last 3 years they've played in the Brooklyn Queens Championship. Both years, because the BQ Championship alternates between St. Francis Prep and Christ the King as hosts. Both years at Christ the King, they have split. Christ the King winning, and then St. Francis Prep most recently beating the Royals on their home court to win the BQ. Dotton, little floater that is short, and the tap back by White.
White did a great job staying with it, utilizing his athleticism and picking up 2 on the putback.
White with 9 now for the Terriers. Ellis remains at the end of the bench, his right leg elevated.
You just hope that's not an injury that keeps him out too long. Hate to see it.
Steal by Dotton. And good defense by Ragu. And you're right, that's been the case for Christ King when they got out to that perfect start, and they were 9-1 in that St. Francis Prep win. Actually, Malachi Hudson, that's where he was out for the year with that torn ACL. As Sacco buries the triple. He's got 12 now. The Terriers have a 1-point lead.
Coach sticking with the zone.
A little miscommunication between Briscoe and Runjo. Pinnock checks back in. But without Hudson, they were already a thin team, and now if you lose Ellis for any amount of time, that is devastating for Christ the King. Dotton hands off to Sacco. Back to the freshman point guard. Goes cross court, Eli Murray, the freshman, side rim, no good. Loose ball, rebounds. It goes to White, the kick, corner, three, DeSena, bang!
That all started with Keyshawn White going after the offensive rebound and locating his teammate for the kick out.
9 for DeSena. Runjo. The kick, Magna, one more. Pinnock. Up top, Ragu. Too strong. Another defensive rebound by Sacco. The leak out.
What a great pass by Dotton.
DeSena rejected by Magna and then fouled by Magna. And DeSena will go to the line to shoot two.
Yeah, you see Sacco with the rebound, the outlet, and the touch pass by Dotton to DeSena. DeSena, good job with the patience, good defense by Magna, but DeSena able to draw the foul, heading to the line for two.
A correction, the foul was called on Pinnock, number 4, not Magna, number 1. DeSena, back rim on that first free throw. Has been banged up of late. Didn't play in the Terriers pre-hoop hall game. Got a little banged up, diving for the ball, for a loose ball on the ground. No surprise there, the way DeSena gets after it.
Yeah, when he missed the first free throw, I was surprised with that stroke. I mean, you almost wonder if he should have shot it from 19 feet 9 inches instead of 15.
That was the first point that he scored that hasn't been from beyond the arc. And the Terriers, strong start to the fourth quarter. They've now got a 5-point lead. Ragu, top of the key. That is short. Runjo the rebounds. And now the defense, the intensity being ratcheted up by the Terriers. Runjo down low, rejected by Sacco. Here comes DeSena the other way. No good, off the hands there of Dotton. And that was all Pinnock creating that miss.
Yeah, I was watching Pinnock the whole time, and he sprinted back, and he didn't give up on the play. And those are the things that don't show up in the stats, but that could be a big play in this game.
And how many times in that situation do you see that guy foul, right? And that wasn't a foul, but just the footsteps, the presence, just threw DeSena off just enough for him to miss that layup.
I thought Marsaji got away with a moving screen on that.
Runjo inside, gets the friendly roll. And a full timeout called by the Royals, which gives us an opportunity to remind you that we will be back in action, you and I, on the Grand Concourse as Cardinal Hayes takes on Ronald Yates's James Monroe. Just got the job in October. Yates, the former Forest Hills great, played at UMBC and St. Peter's. Very good friends with Kenny Adelecki, the assistant coach of Cardinal Hayes, so that should be a fun one.
Yeah, he was so surprised that you knew his history, you knew how good he was. And I wasn't surprised, Dylan. No one has more background knowledge on New York City basketball than my man Dylan Butler, my partner here.
He was part of that great Forest Hills team that made the Garden. And when you're playing the PSAL, that's the goal, right? Get to the Garden. That's the ultimate prize. And his Rangers did do that. They didn't win the championship in 1998, but memories for a lifetime for Yates, who's now, after his college and professional career playing overseas, now in the coaching game. So should be fun to see that one. 4:30 tip right here in the Varsity Media Sports Network.
That should make traffic a little bit better for us heading to the Bronx tomorrow, right, Dill?
Maybe going, but maybe not so much coming home. I'm not sure. I just always expect the worst with traffic, and I get pleasantly surprised if it's not as bad as I expected. Here's Dotton off the timeout.
Yeah, Coach Lynch does such a good job after timeouts, start of quarters, executing, getting the ball to his best player.
Sacco, loose ball. And Richie Katz has a jump ball, Price the King possession. And Lynch has said, right, there's times in the game where we need Sacco to take the ball and make that superstar play.
Yeah, and when you have a player of that magnitude and a player that can do that, it's always a benefit. And it's going to be interesting to see down the stretch who hits the big shot.
Arsagi takes a big shot, misses from the corner. That allows the long rebound. Here comes Dot and the lefty layup and the foul.
That was such an impressive move by Austin Dot. Here you see the hesitation and the lefty finish through contact.
Runjo picks up his second. And if there was a larger student section here tonight, you might hear the chants of he's a freshman as Stoughton completes the three-point play.
They have a bunch of guys they could be chanting that for.
Yeah. 50-44 now. St. Francis Prep.
A lot of credit has to go to Coach Lynch.
Oh, Runjo snuck in behind for the layup.
For stepping outside his comfort zone this year and going more with a zone defense. He's always been a man-to-man coach, and he sees his lineup, he sees his personnel. And on the flip side, Coach Arbitello drew up a really, really nice set there to get his big man an open look.
Murray spins too strong. Pinnock to Magna. This is where he is at his best, in the open floor. Magna ducks under for two.
That was a special move by the LaSalle commit.
10 now for Magna. That St. Francis Prep lead now down to 2. DeSena drives baseline. The kick, White. The extra. Sacco short. Loose ball rebound. Sacco tried to save it off of Runjo, but he stepped out. He's a little bit hobbled. Oh. And that is a sight nobody here at St. Francis Prep wants to see. I think he just landed wrong, Andrew, when he went to dive up for that loose ball. So injuries becoming an issue here in this one. See it again there. It was, he had jumped earlier to try to save it and then didn't get a great look at it, but
yeah, here you see he goes up for the jumper, tries to attempt to save it.
I don't know if he landed on Runjo or not, but good to see Sacco up, limping a little bit. Maybe it's a good thing that Professional Physical Therapy is the sponsor for this one. They might be busy.
Oh, man.
After this one.
You always hate to see when a guy's hurt, when it's a non-contact situation. He's trying to walk it off, but he's going to come off now as Carter Prison is going to come in the game.
What I wasn't sure, I don't know if he landed, it could have been on Runjo's foot.
It also could be a cramp. You just don't know.
Yeah, he'll get looked at the end of his bench. On the other side, Ellis is still with that foot elevated. So two of the better players in this one, both currently out injured. Magna, there's DeSena again, going for the loose ball. Somehow, some way, Johnny Magna got out of that scrum and got to the basket.
Yeah, you see balls on the deck. Guys scrambling, guys diving. Magna comes out with it. Keyshawn White goes up to challenge. Looked like a really, really good block by Keyshawn White, but Magna was able to draw the call.
Magna knocks down the first 11 now for him. And the second is good as well. Lo and behold, we are now tied at 50. Here's Murray. DeSena. Back to Murray, spins, rejected by Runjo. Here is Ragu the other way. And Big O getting back to the scorer's table. That is a good sight to see. Arsagi. Up top, Pinnock. Chance of defense from the Terriers faithful. Ragu gets a bump by Prizzi, no good. The leak out. And Dotton, the layup. He has scored some big points, Andrew, in this fourth quarter.
He is electric in transition. When he gets out and gets ahead of steam, he's tough to stop.
DeSena, the block on Magna. Now DeSena, the triple. Side rim, no good. The roof would have come off this beautiful gym at St. Francis Prep.
Now, if you're St. Francis Prep here, the only thing you don't want to give up on this possession is a three.
So Christ the King calls timeout. 1:27 remaining as we take a look, Andrew, at some of the next level players. First for Christ the King. They like to go to the West Coast, it looks like, right? Markel Alston, terrific point guard out of Queensbridge, joining Brandon Williams at UCLA. Brandon Gardner was originally at USC, now at Sacramento State. Devin Vanterpool has found a great home at Florida Atlantic, and Dwayne Pierce, first at Iowa State. Now he's found the home at North Carolina A&T. So those are some of the Christ the King next level guys. We take a look at some of the St. Francis Prep guys, and Pasquarelli and Daughtry were a great combo at Marist. Now Pasquarelli out of Colorado State. Latique Briscoe at St. Michael's. We mentioned Vera Anthony before. I will still say to this day how a D1 hasn't gotten Vera Anthony, I do not know, but he's making the most out of it. And New Haven, and Todd Rochelle over at Caldwell as well.
A lot of talent on the screen, Dylan, in both programs. They turn them out year after year. Now, as we reset here, Coach Arbitello took a timeout. He's drawn up a play. Now, the only thing that I'm anxious to see is if Coach Lynch sticks with the 2-3 defense or possibly shows 2-3 and jumps into man. It's always a chess match late in the game when you have quality coaches of this caliber.
And see Sacco in defensively now.
They're sticking with the 2-3 at the start.
And a blocking foul called on Eli Murray.
Only their second of the quarter, so Christ the King will take the ball baseline out of bounds, Dylan. Coach
and Richie Katz.
Yeah. Richie made that correction very clear that the foul took place on the side. And Skylar Ragu will take the ball sideline out of bounds.
Get to the Magna. 2-point ball game. Here is Pinnock. Back to Magna. Ragu, the triple. Bang! Final minute of the fourth quarter. The Royals with a 1-point lead, and St. Francis Prep calls the timeout. But how about Skylar Ragu?
You could just see that play developing. Great job by Christ the King on the ball reversal. You see it here. Magna with the hockey assist, and Ragu with the knockdown three.
14 now for Ragu. All of his points in the second half coming from beyond the arc.
Yeah, when he gets his feet set, he's dynamite. To reset here, 57.6 on the clock, Dylan. You have to, if you are Coach Lynch, you're thinking possibly about a 2-for-1 situation here. If you get a shot off in the next 10 seconds, you can get a stop, you can get the last shot, or you might just go for a quality possession here and try to get something inside.
Take a look at the upcoming schedule for Christ the King. A couple of games against Nazareth. That'll be interesting, certainly in a wide open Brooklyn Queens division. Also head to Zavarian. That might be a weekend you stay in Brooklyn. Right, those are not easy trips to Nazareth on a Friday and then to Zavarian, or is that, no, sorry, that's Saturday, Sunday. Holy Cross looking for revenge after that overtime loss at Holy Cross. Here we go, final minute, DeSena. Big O, top of the key, guarded by Marsagi.
They were looking for DeSena on a flare screen. Now they have their big man with the ball driving to the basket. Doesn't get the call, but he gets the putback and the foul. Great attack of the rim by Sacco. Sticks with it. Gets hit. Going to the line for the three-point play the old-fashioned way.
You need your best players to step up in crunch time. And that's what Sacco did there.
And out of the timeout, Coach Lynch drew up a great set for a flare screen for DeSena. And that play was designed for either DeSena to have an open three in the corner or this man right here to drive it from the elbow.
And he buries the free throw. 15 on the game now for Sacco. 2-point lead for the Terriers.
Now the zone is vulnerable to the three, and if you're St. Francis Prep, you're doing everything you can to force a contested two as opposed to a set three with a 2-point lead and 25 left to go on the clock.
Magna looks to go baseline. The kick out. Pinnock for three. No good. Rebound to White.
Christ the King has to foul now.
And they do recognize that as they foul Sacco. That was a good look, man, for Pinnock. Foul was by Runjo, his third. And this will send Big O to the foul line as Christ the King is with their fifth foul. Misses the first. And he makes the second. So St. Francis Prep will call the 30. 12.9 seconds remaining. We take a look, Andrew, at their upcoming schedule. They take on Zavarian and Nazareth and Malloy here at home, and what a game that'll be. The Battle of the Boulevard. 2.3 miles separate Holy Cross and St. Francis Prep. Always an entertaining game. St. Francis Prep won on the road. Holy Cross looking to do that here. That'll be right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. February 6th, Friday night, 7:30.
I know where I will be that night, Dylan. Where are you going to be?
Right next to you.
There you go.
So possession arrow, that favors the Terriers right now. Now, interesting here, St. Francis Prep only 2 fouls. So they do have fouls to give here, Andrew.
Yeah, the problem with that, it's not a problem. If you've practiced it and you feel comfortable with your guys doing it, it's a good thing, but you bring in the potential for fouling a shooter. And a well-coached team like Coach Arbitella, if you sell that you're in the shooting motion, now you're going to the line with a chance to tie. St. Francis Prep matches up. They use an early foul, as you said, at 9.6. And they still have one more to give, Dylan.
And I think anytime you force a team to inbound the ball and restart, it could be problematic.
Yeah, you chop them up a little bit.
For the team that got fouled, I should say.
But you also have this man right here with the ball in his hands with 5 to go.
Magna, smart foul.
See, just before he got into the shooting motion. So good job by DeSena to foul Magna on the floor. And now at this point, you just play straight up D. You do not want to foul a shooter. That's the only thing Coach Lynch is telling his guys.
I'm not sure if this is a clock. I think this is a clock situation.
Are they going to come over to the monitor college style and ask us for help?
They cannot do that.
I know.
And I think Richie Katz will put additional time So 2.9. And Joe Arbitello is irate, said there really should have been a lot more. I don't know if we can get a replay that'll show the time or not, but Arbitello not happy with that.
Plenty of time for a catch and shoot.
I don't know why Arbitello is arguing at St. Francis Prep. He's clearly upset at Richie Katz.
Well, it's their ball, sideline out of bounds, with an opportunity for a catch and shoot.
So Katz will go over.
Any help on the monitor?
Can you even do that in high school?
So Katz going over to the scorer's table, Andrew. A veteran official in this one, and look, ultimately they just want to get it right.
Yeah, they're doing the best they can to.
And he will put 4 seconds onto the clock. You will not please everybody on a call like that.
Changes things. Now you have the ability.
Yeah, it's not a catch and shoot now.
Now you can, you shot fake, or you bring a lot of other things into play.
And a timeout by Christ the King.
Good timeout by Christ the King. Now they have more time to actually draw up the play. And the last timeout, they were spending the time arguing the clock. So now they can, Coach Arbitello can organize his guys. I'm sure he has something in his bag.
All right, so I'll give you another one now. Like, obviously on the bench, it's going to be no threes, right? But do you go maybe a little bit unconventional, as long as it's not the shooter, of course, maybe foul. Maybe send them to the foul line. Yes, it'll put them in the bonus for 2.
The reason in this situation, and there's two schools of thought, and there's always a good argument, it's a good debate. What I don't like is now you send a guy to the foul line. He hits one. He misses the second. Runjo gets the putback, and he's fouled, and you lose by 1.
Well,
so you bring an offensive rebound into play. I think if you trust your defense.
But I like it. You know why I like it?
Tell me.
Because it's always so hard to intentionally miss that second. That, for some reason, that always goes wrong.
Yeah, it brings.
Like you throw it too hard.
I've seen it happen before, though, and if teams have practiced it. But it's a great debate. And listen, if you have a choice between 2 good options, you can't go wrong.
So here we go, off the inbound, Magna. He's got to get it in. DeSena right in his grill. And he's got to call another timeout. How about that defense by DeSena?
Yeah, Coach Arbitello has his quarterback taking the ball out of bounds. And a lot of times the inbounder is the guy who's open on the play. Look for possibly Magna to be on the court now and someone else inbounding the basketball, so maybe Magna can get open.
And elsewhere, too, great defense all around by the Terriers.
Yeah, the Terriers are doing the St. Francis Prep Terriers are doing a great job switching and communicating and talking through screens. And it's exciting to see this from this perspective as a former coach, with less stress, of course.
Yeah, you're here at the table where we're just debating. We're not in the thick of it over there.
I feel like I'm just like talking to you at the bar, and like I have my arms folded right now. My heart rate isn't up as much as it would be.
So they elect to have Magna be the inbounder. Ragu has some triples. Runjo, top of the key, open 3. Side rim, no good. White, the rebound. And St. Francis Prep will win this one, 56-53.
safely. The next Warriors home game is this coming Friday night, January 23rd, against the Maryland Clippers, where they will be retiring President.
It was a huge fourth quarter, Andrew, for St. Francis Prep, and they pulled this one out 56-53.
Great job by both programs putting on a show tonight. It was a defensive battle. It's like an old school Big East matchup.
So we will be joined here momentarily by our player of the game, as the honor will go to Big O, Ousmane Sako, who will join us here courtside and joined by his boys as well. Joined now by Ousmane Sako. It was a tough one, man. It was a rock fight here tonight against Christ the King. You guys, though, in the fourth quarter took that game over. What did you guys do better, or what was the situation where you guys, took control in the fourth?
I mean, we just stuck together. We stuck together. We spoke to each other, and we never gave up. You know, we kept pushing, and from me.
Big O, I got a question for you. What are some of the goals for this team moving forward? I mean, obviously this is a big win for you. You have a lot of season left, but what are some team goals that you have in mind?
Sky's the limit for us. Sky's the limit. We're trying to get that city championship. We're going to get that city championship.
Yeah, you guys have been so close last couple of years. You go down, and there was a hush around the crowd here. I don't know if it was an ankle or not, but was there any question that you were not going to come back in the game there?
I'm a warrior. I knew I was going to come back. I knew I was going to come back.
Big O. I think his own teammates are giving him more of a hard time than Christ the King did defensively right now. But Ousmane, a great game by you guys. Congratulations. And we wish you the best of luck here going forward as well.
Thank you so much.
That is Big O. Ousmane Sako, our player of the game with 16. And he gets the plaudits from his team. You know what I like about this? There was no water involved. Chris Sweeney loves that as well. Up at Christ the King, up at Cardinal Hayes, there was water flying around. The equipment was in danger, but not here tonight as Ousmane Sako gets the congratulations. Listen, your first time seeing him live, it wasn't that 30-point wow performance. But listen, when you get 16, we didn't track his rebounds. Clearly a double-double here tonight. That was big, and the senior leadership especially late.
Yeah, and he made that big play down the stretch where he drove the ball from the elbow, stuck with it on the offensive rebound. He's just a big-time player, and his presence puts so much pressure on the opposing team's defense.
What a win here. St. Francis Prep, they improved to 14-3. It's now a 9-game winning streak as well. Again, since that clock or the ball dropped in Times Square, they have not lost a basketball game as they look to continue this stretch here down the stretch drive of the regular season. Well, this was a big-time showdown between two rivals here in Queens. And it was an early statement made there by Keyshawn White, the flush on the baseline, but Aaron Ellis had the response on the other side. It proved to be a dunk fest and a layup fest as Magna gets to the basket. But how about Big O? When he's needed most, Knox gets the dunk. And here it is inside. The and one that proved critical for St. Francis Prep. The Terrier himself loved what he saw here in Fresh Meadows as St. Francis Prep picks up the big win. For our executive producer, Ben Turchin, our technical director, Chris Sweeney. For Peyton Brophy, Kevin Catalanato, bringing you all those great moving images. For my broadcast partner, Andrew Deloya, Dylan Butler, thanking you for joining us here from St. Francis Prep. We look forward to seeing you next time right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.